What's up, YouTube? My name is Dez, and today we're going to be taking a look at the leaked cards from the third week of January for OPO3. We have some awesome new film red promos as well as our last secret rare for OPO3, so let's get right into it. First, we have a black card, Khalifa, with a cost of 4, power of 4,000 with the special attribute and the CP9 trait. On play, draw 2 cards and trash 2 cards from your hand, then reduce the cost of up to one of your opponent's characters by 2 for this turn, with a counter 2,000 as well. This card seems very strong on paper. Being able to cycle your deck, reduce the cost of opponent's characters, and have a counter 2,000 with 4,000 power on it, it seems very strong on paper. Throw 1 Dawn on it, and it's going to swing at the leader. It cycles your deck, and it's a counter 2,000. We have Bruno, another black character with a cost of 2, a power of 3,000 with the Wisdom attribute and the Navy trait. On play, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal 1 Navy type card other than Bruno and add it to your hand, then trash the remaining cards with a counter 1,000. A little searcher for Navy, it's only searching the top 3, but it does seem pretty strong. You're trashing the other ones. We saw some trash support for other CP cards. It is a Navy card, but maybe if there's a little mix of like a Navy CP archetype or something like that, you get to trash the CP cards, and then there's other CP cards that activate if you have CP cards in your grave. So seems pretty interesting. Gets a nice little search. It's only searching top 3 instead of 5 like the other standard searchers, but searches in general are pretty strong. Then we have our Rob Lucci super rare, not the secret rare, but the super rare, as well as the parallel art. And let me hide the cam so you can get a full view of that. So the parallel art obviously looks incredible, done by Akira Egawa, the same guy that did the Zoro alternate art from OPO1, as well as a lot of beautiful Pokemon cards as well. He's an incredible artist. And the standard super rare is pretty interesting as well. It's a different art style than we've seen for a lot of the other super rares. Kind of looks like it's from One Piece Odyssey. But let's get into the effects. So it's a black card, obviously, with a cost of 6 and a power 7,000, with the Striker attribute and the CP9 trait. On play, you may return 2 cards with the type including CP from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. Then this character gains Rush. So now we're seeing some support for what you get for putting those CP cards in the grave. It's a pretty strong effect. 6 cost, 7,000 power with Rush, so long as you have the resources to activate it, which shouldn't be too hard to get by that point in the game. And it's very interesting that it specifies CP instead of CP9. This could be a translation thing. We don't know yet. But maybe we'll see like CP0 cards like that or other Cypher Pole organizations. So he would also support those archetypes as well. Beautiful art. Strong card for sure. Definitely going to see play in black decks that are running the CP archetype. Now we have our secret rare. Soga King. Blue character. Cost 7. Power 6,000 with the ranged attribute and the Sniper Island trait. His effect reads that this character is also called Usopp. On play, return a character that costs 6 or less to the owner's hand, then draw 2 cards and trash 2 cards, and he has a counter 1,000. This card seems very strong on paper, especially with the blue leader that we're getting in OPO3 and Nami, where she wants to mill her own deck, and if she runs out of cards, she wins the game. So this is 7,000 or 6,000 power, with a cost of 7. So for 7, you're bouncing a 6 cost, which is going to slow down the tempo of the game a lot, and you get 2 cards out of your deck. And at the very worst, he's a counter. So I think this card is going to be played in the Nami deck for sure. They just want to slow down the tempo of the game and get cards out of their deck, so this does both of those things pretty well. Then we have another support for Nami, Nojiko, blue character, cost of 2 with a power of 0 with the Wisdom attribute and the East Blue trait. On play, if your leader is Nami, return up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less to the owner's hand. So this is pretty strong. Bouncing a 5 cost for 2 is pretty strong. She has a counter 1,000 as well, and she's just slowing down the tempo of the game. Like I said for Usopp, that's exactly what Nami's game plan is going to be, is just slow down the tempo of the game as much as possible. And for 2, bouncing a 5 is huge value. And now we have our last card from OPO3 for the week, Thatch, a red character with a cost of 1, a power 2,000, and the Whitebeard Pirates trait. Activate main once per turn. This character gains 2,000 power for the turn. Then place this character in the trash at the end of the turn with a counter 1,000. Not a big fan of this card. I would have loved to see it gain 3,000 power instead of 2, so it could go up to 5 and swing at the leader. Maybe it'll be okay in Zoro decks if that's still around come OPO3, because you throw 1 down on Zoro, activate his effect, and he's swinging for 5. But just the fact that it goes into the trash at the end of the turn, I mean, The thing about aggro decks is definitely a card for aggro decks where like they get a lot of tempo off of like, they throw down stuff, they attack with them, and their opponent has to spend resources attacking into them in most matchups. So like this is just going away for free. Not a big fan of this one, to be honest, but maybe it'll be good. We'll have to see what red decks are going to be playing come OPO3. And now we have some awesome film red promos that are going to be alternate arts of some starter deck and OPO1 cards. So we have Shanks and Luffy. These are actually alternate arts of the film promos that we had originally, the vanillas. The 8 cost 10,000 Shanks and the 4 cost 6,000 Luffy. They don't see too much play, but I love the pencil drawn art style that they did for these. These just look great. Now we have Uta and Jinbe. This is a alternate art for the rare Uta from OPO1 that recycles 3 cost red cards from your trash. And the blocker Jinbe from the OPO1 that plays a red character card with a cost of 2 or less. These are the first alternate arts that we've seen for these. So this is pretty cool. The Uta definitely sees some play for sure in Zoro and things like that. Now we have the Robin and Nami. So this is actually an alternate art of the Robin, from the rare Robin that kills 3,000 power or less. This card sees so much play. It is one of the decent threats of the format, and the fact that we're getting an alt art for this is great. I love Robin's film red outfit as well, so this is really, really cool. And then we also have another alternate art. We've actually already seen an alternate art for this Nami, the starter deck Nami that gives Rested Dawn. That'll be coming in some kind of promo pack or something. I'm not sure how we're going to get it in the English, but this is another alternate artwork for that Nami. Super, super clean art for sure. And we have the blocker Chopper and the starter deck Zoro that gains 1,000 power. The Chopper sees a ton of play in pretty much every red deck because being a 1-cost blocker, it's going to be strong. And the Zoro doesn't really see any play, but I really love these close-up of the face art style that they did for him. And then we have the starter deck Brook, the counter 2,000 that gives 2 Rested Dawn. This is another one that sees a ton of play, and I love this alternate artwork for Brook. And the starter deck Usopp that disables your opponent from activating blockers. This one doesn't really see any play, but definitely a cool artwork. And the Frankie and Sanji. So this is the Frankie that can attack active characters. This one doesn't really see any play, but the Sanji sees a ton of play in the aggro red decks. So I'm super happy to have an alternate artwork for that one. And that's going to do it for this week. Quick little video. If you're interested in watching some gameplay, I'm going to be streaming webcam tournaments every Tuesday at 7 p.m. EST, as well as sporadically throughout the week whenever I have the opportunity to play in them, or maybe play some friendlies with the boys on Des the Grinder on Twitch. But if you're looking for more OPTCG content on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more of that from me. And that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. See ya.